Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Wow, Bitcoin moving higher and higher, and I think we could see a decision here what the market is going to do, maybe already on the weekend, maybe even today, but I think it will take a couple of days because depending on what Bitcoin is doing, we also then need confirmation of the next move, what's going to happen. But yeah, I think in the next few days we're going to see here what Bitcoin is going to do over the next few weeks and maybe even over the next few months. So Bitcoin moving again further today, 3.86% the last 24 hours, over 10% in the last 7 days. And that again has an effect on many altcoins. I mean, Cardano after the last few days starting to retrace. I mentioned that earlier in this the video earlier this morning that we need to see a bit of a retracement now, and we are seeing that. And generally, however, if you take a look, most altcoins performed really well in the last few days and so. And at the moment, we see that, here, especially in the top 10 now, Bitcoin seems to be leading the way again with around 3.8%. Yeah, Ethereum around the same mark. Always usually a little bit more volatile, but at least it's getting interesting. So at least that boring sideways movement down here is over. So yeah, we are heading here in a massive W formation higher in this triangle. To be honest, we expected this, didn't we? We talked about this ABCDE pattern, and in this E wave, we said the price typically would shoot up all the way to that wave C at 45.5K. So that is also the level that I would expect, especially as the price has now broken the 44.5K level. So we talked about that next resistance after Bitcoin broke out of 42.7, that the next resistance would be around 44.5K. You can see that here, where we had a lot of resistance before, back here 13th, 14th of January, then here 16th of February, here and here as well, early in February. And yeah, now we just moved through here. The next one, and that will really be the last main resistance level I think that we're going to have here, is for that wave E then the, well, okay, you've got your descending trend line here from that triangle. If I would zoom out a little bit, you can see the triangle actually. You can see this formation, and you can also see that this is going to provide resistance, but very importantly, that previous high, the wave C, it is that 45.5K level. I mean, you can even go a little bit higher to that 45.8K level, that wave A. But here, above that, I would consider the breakout complete. Of course, it's not enough if the price stays for a minute in that region. It needs to break out. And ideally, I'd like to see a 4-hour candle close above that level, above that wave A, that 45.8K level. And then if that is fulfilled, validated, then I think we're going to see more significant upside that can then take us into the region between 55 and 65K. This is then a so-called wave B. Yeah, and we are going to come down like that. We've got the fib levels, and you can see that target area is based on these Fibonacci levels. So let me just draw that. So between the here 55K level, which is the 61.8% fib level, and the 88.7% fib level, and in here somewhere I would expect the price then to turn around. An ideal level for that would be the 61.5K level, or already the 55K level. So we don't know until the price is going to reach that area, but that scenario only becomes live and will become the primary scenario when we break above 45.5K. Until then, my primary scenario will and has to remain that we're going to get down into this yellow target area between 20 and 29K, but not without reason. I always showed you this alternative scenario. That is actually the scenario that I did expect originally. Some of you might remember when we crashed down here and we had that bigger crash on the 4th of December. That is actually when I expected that B wave to play out. I did expect, and some of you will remember that B wave, I did expect it in a similar price region back then. And however, it never turned out. We took the alternative, the more immediate sell-off, but it could really be that we get this B wave now before we then come down in a wave C and finalize that sell-off. bearing in mind that I would only consider this here as alternative at the moment, and then to come down still to fulfill here my primary expectation in the end. A really sustainable breakout to new all-time highs. Personally, very low probability from my point of view. Maybe would give it a 15% probability. As I always say, we can only really operate in this market by understanding probabilities. From my point of view, very unlikely, would be very, very surprised. And also, unfortunately, I think it would indicate that, I would not have a lot of trust in this new all-time high then. But of course, if Bitcoin, for example, did a new all-time high, and all the probabilities are thrown out of the window, of course, the altcoins, they could perform really well. And I've had a few questions. What do? I haven't bought Bitcoin yet. In the end, I can't tell you what to do. I told you that I bought just below 40K. Could have even bought a bit lower, but I didn't, because I expected it to drop a little bit lower. It didn't happen. Bought still below 40K. Have a foot in the door. But I went in heavy on altcoins, and that is where more of the reward will be anyway, But what I will do, if we really break above that 45.8K level, I'm going to open a long position, and then we'll take profit somewhere here. And I'll make you aware of that. Yeah, that is pretty much here my view currently on Bitcoin. Maybe another view if you zoom in. And we take a look on the daily chart. It's getting very interesting. I think it might be a really interesting weekend here. We can see that we are closer and closer getting into the overbought region on the daily. We are now at around 63, with the RSI. We are not yet overbought, clearly not, but we need to understand that we're getting closer on the daily. That would be low enough, in my opinion, to break through that 45.8K level anyway. So we're not yet overbought, we're not yet exhausted. On the daily, we are not yet. And we are obviously above the EMA ribbon. All of that is all the case. Let's take a look on the weekly chart for Bitcoin. This also will, if we continue like that, we are going to see here a bullish crossover on the MACD on the weekly. Again, a bullish sign that would then also confirm further upside here. And I've been telling you throughout here, this triangle, that the indicators, they would support further upside. The potential on the side of the indicators, also longer term indicators, is certainly there for further upside, because we did correct down so much that they were very, very low. Therefore, further upside potential is certainly there, and that can support the price into this green target region. So Bitcoin is not making it boring. Good to see that we finally see some movement. But what I also always want to emphasize here is that at the current price level, we were already twice before and we did not break that triangle. So that was here, 45.3K around on the 1st of March, and also here in the beginning of February. And we are approaching now very, very fast that trend line of that triangle, and that will be at pretty much exactly 45K. I'll keep you updated about Bitcoin, about the development. I will let you know when I open a long position. Channel members will know that first, because I will post it first on Telegram, on Discord. And again, if you really like to see my own buy and sell orders, any of my buys, sells, anything, check out the channel membership. There's also additional content, lots of additional content, live chat, Discord, and you can also access the weekly live stream. Anyway, if you like the content, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, as I said, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.